Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Atom RPG with me, Bring It On. Let's keep talking to the people of Paragon, starting with this guy. A lot of alcohol and a decent amount of rubles. Let's see what we can get out of him. Close enough. Well, we can do a little better. Probably won't need any more of this. I'm pretty good about the radiation. It's not as easy to get. Oh, why has he got money? Alexander, what do you need money for? Alright. Standing in front of you is an elderly man. His face shows signs of unbearable boredom. Having noticed you, he livens up, but only a little. He reminds me of the guy from Crocodile Dundee. I don't know his name. He's like the side character, and then in the second film, he's like almost like the sidekick to Crocodile Dundee. Anyway, what can I do for you, young man? Let's do some business or talk about something interesting. Well, you've said it. Let's do business. Oh, let's do business, of course. My son was just looking for a bottle to buy for his old dad. A little bottle of something warming, like literally no more than 100 grams, to help strengthen the immune system, the invisible army of white blood cells. Oh, but that's... no, can't be. It's impossible. The man is looking over your back with suspicion, where Old Man Hexogen is standing, shifting his weight from one foot to another. Ah, you seem to know my buddy Hexogen here. Not really, I was mistaken. Although, hey comrade, why are you standing all the way over there? Let me take a closer look. Old Man Hexogen turns to the merchant. Wait, what? Well, I was right. It's Ryder Trudov himself. But how? Who brings you here? After all this time in camps, after being exiled to America. Despicable, as if I would have let anyone exile me to that rotten, godless empire of withered capitalism. The only thing they did was run that story full of lies in their useless newspapers. In reality, they just drove me from Moscow and left me there. And trust me, there was no America there. It was a good old city of Zaraisk. Zaraisk? Cheerful and full of light. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I've been reading your books for all my life. Topik and the Shock Workers, Mishka's Borscht, The Adventures of Lazius on the Red Planet. The scene where the Humpty Dumptys tear Lazius apart with their bare hands for overthrowing the communist regime on Mars is haunting my dreams till this day. You realize that you have met a person who can tell you more about your companion than he himself. Can you remind me how our Trudov, ended up in Gulag? The merchant scratches his chin and shoots a look at Hexogen's direction. Ah, well, Comrade Trudov didn't tell you himself. Well, As far as I know, he wrote an open letter to Comrade Stalin, suggesting that we hand over Leningrad to the Nazis. Temporarily. Hand over temporarily. And then, when the Zolotic Fritzes would have fallen sick with galloping consumption from that gruesome swamp weather, we'd be able to easily kill them just by sending over some kids with sticks, or even dogs, and that's it. The city of Peter would have been free once more. Well, continue listening in silence. And that collection of poems from 1941 was quite controversial. Germany's excellent, was it? I've written that for the occupying forces, to remind them of how beautiful their Vaterland is. So they would return there. Who knew that darn Vlasov would be so impressed that by it he would defect with a whole army? Well, yes, that's what I thought. Continue listening in silence. Then there was this book, and they conquered Berlin. In the book, the hero liberators were some English guy with a Japanese sword and a woman with rakes for hands. What? It's my creative vision, you scoundrelly ill-wisher. Sure, my thoughts exactly, but those were the reasons. Let me ask you something else about Hexogen. Ah, my favorite topic. How many books did that half-wit write? Doesn't Comrade Trudov remember it himself? Well, no surprise there. Years have gone by. But there are lots of books, that's true. Or there were a lot of books, that's true. My collection of his works took up half my living room. Baldur the Wooden Stakhanovite, Dennis Frank Conventions, Warmongers. The most important thing about all this pulp fiction is not having a clear concept or a topic. This is the wisdom that kept me from becoming a miserable and despicable street salesman, suspected of being gay. Just so you know. Poof. Well, maybe you're right. Well, let's ask something about Hexogen. Why did he choose to live a life of an outcast for so long? Well, after all, he sold his book about life in the Gulag, the Vorkuta Tricks, to an American publisher. Even though the Khrushchev's government offered him to publish it for free to combat the personality cult. I have to support my addiction to cheap tobacco and a self-made drug from tea leaves that I acquired in the mincing machine that was the Stalin's regime. And since that time, the party, the press, and the people don't really like him that much. And I am sure that up until this day, many people, except for his few die-hard fans, have some warm words they want to say to him. Well, let's ask something else about him. The old man's memory is not what it used to be. Do you remember any interesting stories from his life? I have to admit that I recall this episode from the Vorkuta Tricks. It's quite inappropriate, where Comrade Trudov at night went to use the bucket, but it being dark, he missed and sold the shoes of the cell kingpin. He went to sleep hoping that his underlings will notice it in the morning and clean them, but... Shush. It isn't a story suitable for children's ears. I'm kindly asking you to zip it. Yes. There wasn't anything else there. Alright, Comrade Trudov, stay strong. Let's talk business. What are you selling? Priceless goods for the people who are looking to survive in the wilderness. Excellent. It's just that I'm a bit short of cash these days. Can you give me a discount in honor of our newfound friendship? The man thinks your proposition over for a few seconds, then finally shrugs and nods. Well, you seem like a nice guy. Fine, I'll give you a discount. Well, I can't guarantee that I'll make a big purchase immediately, but with time I am sure I will. Let's talk business. Great, let's change the topic for now. Alright, what shall we talk about? I have a couple of questions for you. Always my pleasure. What shall we talk about? What's your name, buddy? My name is Eugenie Boguslavsky. What should I call you, my young friend? So my name is... The merchant is listening to you politely. Donnie. Glad to meet you, Donnie. It is what it is. One more question. What is it? Tell me about this place. Of course, Paragon isn't a place to settle for long term, but still, there's everything one needs to have a life here. And as long as it stays the trading post that it is now, people will keep flocking here. Wise words. May I ask something else? What do you do? I'm a merchant, like many others here. However, in a different time, I might have been considered a scavenger. I have a bit of everything here. Guns, ammo, food, medicine, and all other sorts of junk that's valuable only to real craftsmen. I see. Maybe we'll do business in the future. One more question. Do you know any interesting gossip? I've heard that some second-hand booksellers killed a whole gang of literature deniers. Finally, the book trade in the Wasteland will get a chance to flourish. Ah, gosh darn it. Soon I too will buy some popular science booklets to read. From that Abraham fellow in Krasno. Yeah, I wonder who killed them. Okay, one more question. Alright, you're right. There's nothing much to talk about. Bye. Alright, before I talk to the innkeeper, let's go talk to Theodore Maximovich. A middle-aged man in clean clothes is reading a hardcover book. Seeing you, he stops reading and pushes his glasses up the bridge of his nose. Theodore Maximovich, how can I be of assistance? I'm just strolling around Paragon trying to meet new people. In that case, glad to meet you. Care to answer some questions? Why not? Ask away. Do you remember Paragon before the war? Sure I do. It was such a nice little port. Long before the war, a second river connected us to a large lake, but it dried out after the war. Too bad. A river trade, in my opinion, is much more efficient than moving goods over land. Interesting. I can ask something else. I'm listening. Is it safe to take a dip in the big lake? In some places it's completely safe, but it's still pretty dirty. Merchants discard all sorts of stuff in the water. Stalkers use it to wash the radioactive dust off their boots. And the bandits, they even dispose of their victims in these waters. That's really sad. Can I ask something else? How good is the trade in the wastes? Pretty good, actually. In my opinion, free trade is one of the reasons why civilization, although with much hardship, still exists to this day. Sure, banditry and highway robbery still dog the traders, but you can't have light without shadow. A sure thing. Now another one of my questions. Care to share any rumors with me? The secret group of mercenaries recently stopped an attack on Ultranoye village. That's good news. We have enough crime as it is. That's true. Now another question. Let's just change the subject. Sure. Listen, do you have some work for me? You looking for a job? That's interesting. First of all, who are you supposed to be? I'm an experienced mercenary in search of a job. So you'd be glad to join a cause, big or small, right? Maybe you could... I'm getting words mixed up. Maybe you really could help us out here. I'm ready for the details. Theodore Maximovich thinks for a bit. A long, deep wrinkle on his forehead becomes more and more pronounced. Finally, he claps his hands. I've got it. Paragon isn't doing as well as it could be. The reason? Constant bickering between the merchants and the guards. I saw this idiot's fight simply for the joy of fighting. Although it hasn't yet blossomed into open conflict, I expect all the wonders of open civil war any day now. Shooting in the streets, mass looting, all that stuff. It's a very scary possibility. Continue, yeah, real scarefest. What do you want from me? We need to reach common ground. The traders and guards need a natural third party to negotiate their conflicts. This may sound like I'm full of myself, but it's actually true. I'm the best man for the job. Without me, things around here would quickly run to bloodshed. There's a problem, though. The leaders of both parties hate and fear everyone so much, they spend all their time locked in their quarters. It'll be hard getting to them, and nobody in Paragon wants to risk it. But you, an avid adventurer, could at least give it a try. You look like you have what it takes to inspire them both. Yeah, I'm not sure they'll enjoy such a surprise, but as proletarians, we have nothing to lose but our chains. I agree. Where do I look for them? Good show. They're both right here in Paragon. The head guard, Nikolai Siplovsky, sits in my former office in the Inland Navigation Building. The head merchant, Leonia Abramov, is in the hull of this very ship. They will resist at first, but do your best to persuade them. I see. Now then, shall we change the topic? Sure. That was quite the chat, but I have to leave. Okay. So we have the quest to bring peace to Paragon. But that'll have to wait. It's worthwhile. In front of you is a jittery man who is evidently annoyed with something. He is spinning a pen between his fingers, looking around scared. Yes? What is it? Hurry up. Wait a minute, pal. Why are you so jittery? The man stares at you with his red, bloodshot eyes popping out. What? Me? I'm always like that. If you slow down, they'll get ahead of you in the blink of an eye. Have you heard how a tortoise outran Achilles? And what is the risk if you're racing not against a tortoise, but against people? Exactly. And there's this bloody scumbag, this disgusting thing, this bugger, this beast. What are you talking about? The man grabs himself by the hair and pulls on it with a squeal. What about? What about? Can't you see this disgusting bee? The scum has been circling around me half of the day, and I hate bees. Gosh, if I only had the dexterity to catch this bastard with this small torture rack. It would envy the flies that get their legs pulled out by kids. You notice a small, not at all mutated, but still annoying bee flying around the man. Try to catch the bee. Are you trying your best to grab the aggressive insect that your interlocutor is talking about? Still, your efforts are futile. The bee is way too fast, and you fail to focus on it. Man, it's harder than it seems. Of course it is. What was I expecting? This just happens. It does, with or without a reason. A divine scourge befalls you, and no one can help you then. You've got to do it all by yourself. Popping out his bloodshot eyes at you, your interlocutor suddenly draws a big gun from under his belt and begins firing at the black and yellow buzzing dot that's orbiting his body. What on earth are you doing? Jump to the side. The jittery man tilts his head to the side and looks at you, his eyes twitching nervously. What is it you want? Tell me. I just came here for a chat. Well, what is it? Time is money. What's your name? I'm a scribe. Scribe Kostia the Face, because my facial nerve is constantly agitated. Can you see my eye is twitching? When people anger me, it can pop out of the orbit, like a snail's eye. And who are you? My name is... The jittery scribe is tapping his foot impatiently. Donnie. That's great. I'm glad. Extremely glad. So glad I'm about to jump overboard. Awesome. I've got another question. Go on, spill it out. Speak up. What are you doing here? The goods come in, I count them and write it down. The goods go out, I count them and write it down. If there's a discrepancy with the document, I notify the guards. I'm a bureaucrat for freak's sake. A pen pusher. So that's how it is. I see. I've got another question. What can you tell me about this place? This place is Paragon. I suspect it was called that because life here is a constant chase. Can't reach your goal before the deadline. Don't worry. A bullet will reach the back of your head. Hurry up, count, write, and you'll stay alive. Who scared you so much? Never mind. I've got another question. Gossip, rumors, anecdotes? I've heard that recently a whole settlement was cleared from the mutant plague. Now one of those who did it invites people from all around the place to come and live there. You don't say. I've got another question. Let's change the subject. Change it faster. Alright, that's it. That's it. I'm leaving. Well, that was fun. A neatly dressed woman in glasses is looking at a modern crossword puzzle printed on bad paper. Having noticed you, she looks away from the crossword and addresses you in a stern voice. Paragon Guest House. Usual prices, unusual quality. Are you looking for a room for rent? I'd rather ask you some questions. Fine. I can answer a couple of questions for you. Where can I get a drink in Paragon? You should ask my husband about that. He is the owner of a resto bar in Paragon. It's not far from here. Thanks for the info. One more question. I'm listening. Is it nice living here? In Paragon? Well, how should I put it? It's not really cozy here. Our neighbors change frequently. There are floods in the spring. One is strongly advised against drinking waters from the big lake, even after it has been boiled. There's constant noise coming from the hold because of all the dogfighting. Need I go on? That's unnecessary. I got the idea. Can I ask you something else? Is it dangerous in Paragon? My husband says that the threat level here is medium. Probably, there are more peaceful places than this in the Wasteland. But Paragon isn't the worst place on Earth. The most important thing is to be careful outside of Paragon. Too many gangs appeared in this region recently. Thanks for the info. One more question. What do people talk about around here? Lately I've been hearing a lot of terrible things about this barbecue joint that belongs to Kerdiev and Vichvodkin. I don't even want to spread those rumors further, because they are, well, too graphic. Thanks for the info. One more question. Let's talk about something else. The woman fixes her glasses and nods without saying a word. I'm interested in the cost of living here. It's the Wasteland standard. 50 rubles for a room, a price of food included. Want it? Fine. Here's the money. I'm going to bed. Alright, now it's daytime. We should have more people out here to talk to. Merchants galore. He has no money. It's interesting. Not a very good merchant, is he? A smiling man screams slogans and points at his various wares. When he notices you, he almost grabs you to pull you closer. Hey, so, you buying? Let's trade. Let's do the I sell you buy thing. So what's my discount gonna be? Listen, I'll call the guards if you ask me again, because asking for a discount with such low prices is robbery. Plain and simple. Fine. I'll look at your stuff later. Or your stuff later. Can I ask something first? What won't a man do to make a sale? Go on, ask me questions. What can you tell me about the wastes? So there was this weird guy in Krasno who dreamed about writing books about some sort of a space pervert. And you know what? Some person actually helped him make his dream come true. Honestly, I read the things myself. Well, I can't read actually, but I held those books in these very hands. Oh you, let me ask you something else. The merchant makes a ciggy out of a piece of newspaper. Where did you get your wares? Look at the quality of my wares and think about what you asked. Was it worth asking? No, because it shows that my wares come only from the best Trudograd manufacturers and Tambov diggers. This quality is top-notch. I'm glad to hear that. Let me ask you something else. Go on, speak. Maybe you heard some good rumors. Before my wife took over my Trudograd apartment, I loved visiting the local circus. There, I remembered seeing a young boy wearing a green suit, who always tried to sell me carnival food. A few days ago I opened a newspaper. I saw this little circus freak, much older, on the front page. The article had something to do with Krasno. I don't know. I can hardly read. Alright, so this is a semi-important rumor to keep track of. What a career. Next question. Anything interesting going on in Paragon? The guards are pressing down on us merchants. They leave no breathing room. You know who suffers? Everyone. Only Krasno wins as we fight one another. Sad. Can I ask you some more questions? Yeah, let's change the subject of the conversation. The trader snaps his fingers. Well, then there's nothing to catch here anymore. Bye. $30 rubles. Probably don't have anything to trade for that. Oh, here's some logs. A kindly merchant lady in a Panama hat tends to her wares. When she spots you, she smiles and says, "Glad to see you here. Did you want to buy something? I have meat. It's really fresh too. Will I get a discount?" I can do that. But only next time. Promise. Well. Can I ask something? Sure, ask away. What can you tell me about yourself? Me, my family, all of us are from Oduchini. Oduchini? We started living around here not that long ago, after our home was hit by a year-long dry spell. Living here, well, it's manageable. I see. Another question. I'm listening. How goes the trade? Traders that drive or walk through here always want to rest for a while, to cook some food. That's where I come in with my wares. I always have fresh produce. I see. Another question then. You wanted something else? What do the merchants talk about around here? There's this rumor that the people from Krasno pay bandits to attack local caravans. Isn't that against the law or something? Probably. Another question. Had any interesting buyers? Interesting. Well, once I met this pre-war looking soldier guy. He said he was looking for some bunker with his pals, who sent him here to buy some food for the trip. Who was he with, I wonder? Yeah, who knows? So, how about another question? Ask, please. You know what, let's change the subject. Sure, so how about buying something finally? I want to go now. See you. Okay. A thin, old-looking woman in a headscarf urges you to come closer by wagging her finger. Don't walk away. Look at my wares. The best produce in the wastes. Will I get a discount? What discounts? The wares are already basically free. A pity. Well, can I ask something? I guess I can spare a minute or two. What did you want to ask? What do you think about Paragon? Why think about it? It's a good thing we have this fence, so there are no bandits at least. But still, Krasno is better for living an honest life. I see. Another question. The merchant woman shakes her head. How's work? Relatives and children roam the countryside, buying surplus vegetables and stuff. I do the selling. I have the best prices. The other one who had better ones got his whole stand incinerated in a freak accident I had nothing to do with. Yeah, stuff happens. Another question. Ask. Are you still trading? Only here in Paragon. If you own a place, you hold on to it. Have you heard any good rumors lately? I heard that there's this Atom organization that silently makes our lives better somehow. I don't trust such rumors. Yeah, suit yourself. Next question. Maybe we can talk about something else? Like, we can talk trade if you wanna. Buy something. Not really, I need to go. Bye. So I think... Okay. Then maybe this other merchant has appeared down here. A few more people have appeared. She's still not here. She might not appear until after we deal with the situation in Paragon. There's no any money either. I don't really care about the crafting instructions, so I'm not going to waste my time with that. A fair-haired man with bright blue eyes meets you with a kindly smile and a wave. How are things, traveler? Want to buy something off Lucky Gunnar? Well, if the prices are right. My prices are already good enough. I'll lose my pants if I make them lower. Maybe you can answer some questions then. Sure thing. What do you wish to know? How did you end up in Paragon? I'm from Latvia, you know. Although I spent the last few years in NKR, the New Kaliningrad Republic. There's trouble with the local Saima. That's what they call their parliament. New laws hit merchants too hard, so I decided to leave. What wonders you tell me? Every new pseudo-country seems so different from the rest nowadays. Another question now. Sure thing. Why are you calling yourself lucky? Well, look at where I'm at right now. And where's Kesterseums? The city of my birth. It's so far away. I wasted a couple of pairs of good boots as I traveled. I've seen the Polish wastes. The New Kaliningrad Republic was my home for a while. And later I walked to this place. Alive and well, like day one. That's luck for you. Yeah, maybe you're right. But one would be foolhardy if he only trusts his luck. One more question. How do you like these lands? In the local wastes, be it Paragon, Krasno, or some tiny village, you can still feel the freedom in the air. The market is open. You may trade all you like. Still, people say bad stuff about the local authorities. I'd love to see their reaction to life in the NKR. Everything is seen in comparison. Another question. Have you got any good rumors to share? I heard that in the hull of that there ship, they hold fighting dogs. I'll make them kill one another for the crowd of spectators. Disgusting. A healthy dog is a treasure nowadays, both for a traveler and a merchant. But they're just wasting good mutts. Dogfights are a hard subject. Another question. You know what? I changed my mind. Let's talk about something else. I agree. Let's change the subject, or maybe it's time to trade. Sorry, I've got business somewhere else. Let's talk to this fine gentleman. It's weird that none of the merchants have money. I don't think that's right. I think there's something wrong here. They should have some sort of money to trade for. Or trade with. The weathered-looking man rubs his hand on his cloth pants and opens it in welcome as you come closer. Hey. Glad to meet you. Shake his hand. The man shakes your hand for a whole minute before releasing it and saying, I'm Carrion, the Caravanier's handyman. Never seen you in Paragon before. What do you say we have ourselves a... what do you say we have ourselves a chat? Or we can exchange experiences if you want. Experiences what now? It's easy. I almost never drink and don't really spend time with the ladies. So when a caravan stops somewhere, instead of drinking myself to oblivion in the nearest pub, I try to learn something new from the locals. What do you want to learn from me? Nothing. I already learned a neat trick from your parts. An old man fishing near Ultranoi village showed me the correct method of dismembering mutant insects. You should talk to him if you ever get the chance. I can show you some interesting stuff as well. For example, I can teach you how they camouflage tents on the steppe, or how they clean guns in Kaliningrad, Or how the Polacks fight with their Polish knives. Or how the Novgorodians haggle. I'll tell you more about the knife fighting. Great choice, buddy. The man that describes the brutal knife-toting bandits of the Rzezik clan? Or Rzezik? Rzezik? Clan, who he met while in Poland. After the story, and a few hands-on demonstrations, you feel like you gain new insight into the subject. Yeah, what a story. Thanks for sharing. Carrion shrugs his shoulders with a silly grin plastered to his face. Glad to be of help. Huh, want to answer some questions? What about? How did you come by such a weird name? It's because a caravan found me almost dead on the Trudegrad road. When my limp, but finally dressed corpse appeared by the road, they rolled on up, to loot me as my guess, when I started gasping for air, screaming, and waving my hands around like a lunatic. I don't remember how I got there, or anything else about my former life. Not even my name. So, I got this nickname instead. Wow, what a story. Now another question. Ask away, pal. How far have you gone with the caravans? I've been to lots of places. Mazovia, the Novgorod free towns, and countless city-states. Solnstigrad, Murmansk, Trudegrad, Kharov. Fortified like huge castles, these cities. So Novgorod, and Moscow, I think, are one of the two cities, so I think the only land army to conquer Russia in the winter was the Mongolian Horde, the Golden Horde specifically. And they only left 2 cities standing. So at the time, Russia was split into a bunch of like different city-states, kind of like ancient Greece, how each city was ruled by its own prince or king, and they were independent states, and they were constantly warring with each other. When the Golden Horde swept across Russia and conquered it in the winter, an impressive feat by itself, they only left Novgorod and Moscow standing. And that's one of the reasons why Moscow became the capital of Russia, was because all the tribute being paid to the Mongols was being sent through Moscow. So Moscow accumulated all this wealth, and they were eventually able to fund the resources needed to drive the Golden Horde out. So a neat little bit of Russian history for you guys. Now that's a geography lesson. Now another question. But yeah, so Novgorod and Moscow were the only 2 cities. Everything else got razed to the ground by the Golden Horde. What can you tell me about this place? A Paragon and this part of the Waste in general is as plain as yesterday's bread with no butter. Nothing too scary, nothing too amazing. The people are average too, though in most places the common folks are much poorer. Never mind. I'll keep that in mind. Now another question. I got any good rumors to share? Rumors. I like folktales better myself. I like the legend of the brainworm, or the stone spiral ritual, or the underground network of slaveholders working out of a little cafe, or the potion that lets you talk to animals. Too bad I don't know any details about any of these stories. So we've run across... Well, we have a brainworm in our party. We've done that. We've dealt with that. This, I don't know if we can find a potion that lets you talk to animals. Maybe I bet you if we go back and talk to the guy in Krasno, now that he's had time to work on it, we'll check on that. I pity that. Some of those sound very interesting. Another question. Let's change the subject, as you wish. Alright, it's time for me to go. Bye. Alright. So that is... Check over here during the day. I'm not going to leave the city. Oh, well. So one of these, I think this is the one for the coal shipments. There's a caravan over here. That's probably worth checking. Let's go check out the caravan. I'm pretty sure this is the one. So we got that quest from the guy at the power station in Krasno about the coal shipments. I'm pretty sure this is the caravan we go with for that quest. Alright. Oh, he's sitting on a ton of money. Okay. I don't really need any more guns. I think I'm good on guns. I have most of my ammo types covered. But money is always good. So I can't quite cover the cost. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll grab this and then what money he can offer us. It might be worth grabbing those as well. Let's put those back. It's not very much for the ammunition, so we'll grab some of that as well. Some of this is pretty hard to come by. So we'll grab that, and then whatever money he will offer us. Alright, let's distribute the ammunition among our companions. Cool. Alright, so we're not going to talk to him yet. We'll talk to him later on. In the next episode... You know what, we'll start with the bandits over here. But I'm going to call it here. Next episode we'll talk... Not the bandits. Well, they were river pirates, but now they're guards. Don't know what this guy's doing. But yeah, we'll talk to this guy. We'll go in here and talk to the Paragon guards. And get that other quest underway. Hey, don't go anywhere. What's he doing? I was just going to stand there. Okay, cool. I'm going to call the episode here. Next one. Also, that guy gave us 5 points into melee weapons for the knife story, which is pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next episode.